Hello, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, whatever time you're watching me right now. It's a good day, as you know I always say. My name is Moni, and I'm your favorite event planner, the creative director of Mo Eventsville, and a facilitator at Mo Eventsville Academy. Thank you for signing up for this course. And so, in this particular module, we proceed from the last module where we'll be talking about expectations or what is expected of us as event professionals, what is expected of an event planner, the roles that I should play, the skills required for you. You know, I mean, you might not have all of them, but with time, you build on them, and some of them you might have it, which might be the reason you feel like professionally planning events is going to be your thing. Then we're going to talk about building your packages and putting a price tag or how to put a price tag on your service as an event professional. Then later on in the next video, we'll proceed to talk about the event experience, creating experiences for yourself, for your guests, yeah, your clients, and for the event generally. And then we said we'll talk about wedding planning, right? Planning a typical Nigerian wedding, a typical Nigerian wedding. Okay, so starting off, we'll start off with the roles of an event manager. Now, there are some skill sets that are required of you as an event manager. Nobody was born with these things, as it were. Like, we learned it, and you can keep learning and learning and learning and learning and developing yourself. In some, you might feel like you've mastered the art. In some other areas, you might feel like you need to do better, right? So we identified 10 things in your manual that are expected of you as an event professional. The first is interpersonal skills. Now, before we talk about interpersonal skills, I like to talk about intrapersonal skills. Intrapersonal skills or interpersonal relationship is the relationship you have with yourself, right? So it's a given that events are stressful. Planning events are stressful, no matter how little they are or small. I mean, the number of guest counts, and no matter how large scale it is, events are stressful because one of the things you're doing as an event planner is to take stress off your clients, off the celebrants, and to take it upon yourself, right? So that they have a stress-free event, have fun, and be happy while you deal with all of the stress and all the funny things that come with the interesting things that come with event planning. So before you can do that, you have to take care of yourself, right? I mean, as an event planner, you have stress that you're dealing with on your own by yourself. So if you are adding another person's wala, as we would say, or another person's stress to yours, then your own wala has to be sorted somehow. You can't let what you're going through affect your deliverables or the way you respond. I remember a particular event where it looked like things were going south, and I was doing hard girl. And then the bride went off to church, and it looked like we were good. And I just entered the elevator, I started crying, and it was just like a moment. And thankfully, I called a colleague, spoke to her, and she's like, Auntie, snap out of that mood right now. I was telling my colleague that I don't think I can do this anymore. I don't think I can deal with this. I'm tired, I'm stressed. And she's like, you've come this far. You cannot stop. You are going all the way out as you are planned to. So, yeah. So we have to deal with stuff for ourselves. So you need to understand yourself. You need to understand what makes you happy, what makes you sad, what triggers you, what gives you energy, because you'll be the energy in the room and all of that. So your intrapersonal skills, your interpersonal relationship is very, very important. Like me, for example, now, I know that whenever things start getting at me, the best thing to do is to walk away or drink water. At least if I'm drinking water, if there's water in my mouth, I cannot spill out nonsense. I cannot say, my unnecessary feelings that don't need to be heard. Yes, because the truth is that at that point in time, if I'm really upset and I'm like, why did you? By the time I say all of that, and maybe I'm calm, I've said what I've said, and maybe I've burnt that particular bridge or I've offended that particular vendor or that particular client. So when under pressure, I drink water, or I take a walk, or I just start singing and worshiping. Like I said, I'm a believer, right? Or I rant to my team members that, hello team, come and see something, what can we do? Or I speak with a friend or something, right? So you need to understand yourself. That's the point. Like, your interpersonal skills with yourself has to be top notch. Now, talking about interpersonal skills, how you relate to people, understanding that not everybody thinks the way you think, and that there are several ways to view something. So, take for example, I say that I want a pen. I can't assume that everybody understands the meaning of I want a pen. I should be a more descriptive about it. I want something that is that I could do it, send a picture. I want something similar to this, because if I say I want a pen, you might give me an American, a pen from America, and then I'm wondering why is it expensive, or you give me a pen from that was printed, that was made in the, I don't know, wherever. But if I'm more descriptive and I send a picture of this, or I say what I want this color of blue. Blue means blue is like the color of the sky, brown like the color of the sand, black like color of my skin. I'm more descriptive, so it's easy for that person that I'm communicating with now. Oh, this is actually what she wants, this is what she means. So there's no problem of he said, she said, I said. Now that's me giving that information. I'm giving it, whoever I'm giving that information to, I should be able to communicate what is in my mind and ensure that the person understands. I can't assume. So depending on who I'm speaking to, if I'm speaking to somebody that has never seen a pen before, so I say give me a pen, if the person goes to bring a key, the person might assume that a key is meaning a pen. And I don't know if you've ever played this game before, where there's a queue of people and somebody whispers a word to the first person. So you say biro, and at the end of the day, by the time the last person is talking, the person is saying school. And I wonder where did that come from? That's because we receive information based on what we know. We receive information based on our background, right? Based on our own interpretation. So I say I want a pen. Maybe where I come from, all I've known a pen to be is this. Another person, all they've known to be a pen is a pencil, right? So to them, they are right. To me, I'm also right. But I mean, as an event planner, harnessing your communication skills is very important. You have to learn how to communicate to your clients, to your vendors, to all event stakeholders without issues. So you ask questions, ask a lot of questions. Do you mean what we used to write? Do you mean what we used to type? Do you mean what we used to scribble? Do you mean that thing that people put in their pockets? You ask a lot of questions. It might look silly or it might look funny, but it's good to look funny during the planning process than when it's time to execute. There are now stories that touch that I thought we said, so I mean, and you'll be communicating with people a lot, you'll be relating with people a lot, so you need to understand their background, what their own thought processes are like, and you're able to also listen without issues. So one thing about us is that we listen to reply. Your friend is speaking with you, somebody's talking to you, and you're nodding. But in your mind, you already know what you want to say. Now, all this type of gist that somebody brings gist to you and says that I went to the market today and I saw a former colleague. And your mind, you're like, former colleague, I hope you did not greet her. I hope you did not talk to her. Or you're like, what does she want? Or depending on how you perceive that former colleague to be, you are ready to give a response. You are not listening to understand what the person is saying. So I would like you to debunk that thing like right now. Whenever you're listening to people as an event planner, you are listening to understand what they mean, so that you can accurately communicate that to whoever you need to. Now, if my client tells me, back to our pen analogy, I need a pen, and I am listening to give a response. Of course, I have a pen. I know people that produce pen in Japan. I'm going to call them right now. But my client is saying, I need a pen as a souvenir. I need a pen to give the first 5 people that come for our event. I need a pen to write a statement. But I don't let her complete that statement. Yes, I know you're talking about. No, you don't do that in event planning. You reduce that to the barest minimum. You cannot be, I too know, that kind of thing, right? Then charisma too is also under this interpersonal skills. Like, your charisma has to be great. Now, you don't have to be extroverted, like, oh, everywhere, jumping, blah, blah, blah. There are some people that when they come into a room, they light up the room like literally, and everybody's just gravitating towards them. Everybody wants to be around them. They make everybody laugh. You don't necessarily have to be like that, right? Your personality is okay. The way you were created is wonderful, right? And you can only develop skills to make that part of you better. So charisma, being receptive to people, I joke saying something like, I don't think I'm a people person. I'm just a people person because of the type of job that I do. But I'm learning to understand people, understand how to respond to people, understand how to relate better with people. Because sometimes I can be at an event, if I'm not working, if I'm a guest, I'm just there sitting down by myself and pressing my phone. That's not a good thing. But there are some people that they will network. You are at a party, they will greet everybody greetable, they will communicate everybody communicatable, take pictures, so charisma is one thing that you want to build. Like, you want to have an attractive personality such that when you're relating with people, you know how to relate well with them. Because and that boils down to the fact that, I mean, you will make people understand, oh, this is what I do as an event planner, this is what is expected of me. I understand what you are going through, I understand what you feel, this is what we can do. You have to be relatable, you have to be friendly as a way. Then another skill is flexibility. So as an event planner, nothing is in a state of flow, nothing is in a, like, rigid. You have to be flexible. Just like life, life happens every now and then, so it is with events, right? Things are in a state of fluid. Something can happen right now and then it changes the next minute. Yes, you're a planner. Yes, you're trying to ensure that things go on as planned. You plan A, B, C, D up to Z. However, life happens, and that is fine. So you should not be beating yourself up when things don't go as planned. Now, that story of me saying that I was crying, in my mind I'm like, why all this stress? Like, everybody was pulling us in different directions, and I'm like, you know what, I'm done, I'm going. People will be fine. But no, you don't do that. If you are done, if you are going, if they will be fine, what will now happen? You've come that far, so why don't you just execute? So the thing is that when things don't go as planned, and we'll talk about that in crisis management, you ask yourself, what can I do to make this thing better? What can I do to produce a fantastic result? Okay, now this has happened, what can I do next? So my bride says, I want a pen. All the pens in Nigeria has finished. What can we do? Can I type on my phone? Can I get a pencil? Can I call somebody from another state to help me, another country? Your mind, you have to be able to think on your feet and provide solutions, because you'll be doing that a whole lot, right? And there's some things you'll be able to foresee. There are some you will not be able to foresee, right? So it's very important that you're flexible to any change that comes, and you're able to think on your feet and provide solutions to such things. Now, how do you think on your feet? You pump ideas into your mind, right? You look at how other people are dealing with different issues and different situations, and then you make your imagination run wild. That's even before the event planning process starts for you, so that if you're faced with a challenge or something similar to that, you know what to do. So a case study I would like to use, like, if you're starting out, go and watch Wedding Party again. Watch it as now with the eyes or the mindset of a wedding planner. Watch it as a Nigerian movie. Then there are some other movies that you can watch that has the wedding planning elements in it. Watch it. What would you have done differently if this didn't happen? Okay, what should we have done here? You're thinking critically, right? Then the third thing out of the 10 things that I listed here is energetic. You have to be the energy guide, like the energy of the room, because sometimes event planning will be overwhelming. Like, planning an event will be overwhelming for your clients, for their family members, even for your vendors. You are the energy of the room. You are the one that everybody's looking up to, that, oh, Mo, what can we do? But if you're also, whatever, you'll be fine. You're like that. There's no energy to transfer. But if you have positive vibes, you have positive energy, your clients are like, okay. Even if it's a corporate event, there's a disposition that you give. They're like, okay, alright, let's see. You are the energy of the room, so you should bring that energy, that zeal, that passion, that love, and let them get equally excited about what they're doing, because most likely it's in a lifetime experience, or maybe once in a year, maybe an annual general meeting, maybe a breakfast meeting, maybe a meeting with their industry leaders or something, maybe a birthday, an anniversary, a wedding, a landmark ceremony. So you want them to have that energy, like, oh, this thing is just once and we're going to do it well. Or even if we don't do it well, even if we don't do it the way we desire to, we're still going to enjoy it and have fun regardless. We're still going to document moments, take pictures, take videos, and all of that. I recall one of our many events where the bride was going for fittings, and the dressmaker didn't make us so happy like that. Like, it was the bride that insisted that we should engage her, right? And we're not so pleased at the time. So the energy was just like, okay, let's just see the dress and let's just move on. But even at that point where everybody was just like, I still brought out my phone, I still did video, and the bride is looking at me like, what's wrong with you, this girl? And then maybe like after the wedding, I think a week after the wedding, or like a month after, when my when I just saw it on my phone, I sent it to the bride. I was like, oh, you documented this, oh, so sweet, so sweet. Because the truth is that it's at the moment that the tension is there, but later on when you watch videos, when you see videos, you're like, where was I even angry? Where was I even cranky? Where was I doing this? And I do that sometimes for myself, just document the moments. And that's the energy, that's the vibe that you should bring to planning your event. The next is creativity and innovation, being creative. As an event planner, you are a creative, meaning that most of the work you're doing is think tank work. Like you're thinking of how to get things done better. So why should you be hired if you're going to be repeating the same thing that one auntie, one uncle did 25 years ago for their family members? I mean, when our parents were getting married, there was nothing like event planner, and they did their weddings, and their weddings were fine, at least as to the degree that they wanted it to be. So there should be an element of creativity in what you do, which will bring us to the event experience we're going to talk about shortly. You should do things differently, differently in a good way. So we said that okay, we want to have, let's say, a wedding, for example, couples entrance. Who says they have to come in through the door? Why can't we have like something on the stage? Let's say they are lovers of book, and it looks like a fairy. They come out of a fairy tale book or a fairy tale document, like pages are flipping open, or they come out of a screen literally, or maybe like there's a gallery, maybe something like something suspends them and then brings them down, or who says that they must dance? Why can't they walk in like a king and a queen? Or who says that they cannot be seated in the I mean, there are different things that you can do, and you can get ideas from anywhere: YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, books, people's video, Pinterest, Google, LinkedIn. I mean, for corporate events here, so you know what their minds are like. So you're asking yourself questions like, okay, this thing has been done this way. How can I do it differently? What spice can I add to it? What can I do to make it more interesting, right? And then thinking, they say you think outside the box. I like to say that there's no box, because if there's a box, that means you're even trying to fit into something, maybe something round, maybe something square. There's no box. Just think, like it's your imagination. And I like to do it for our clients. Like we tell them that, okay, you know what? Let us know your desires for this event. Tell us about this event without thinking about money. Assuming money was not a factor, assuming you had all the money that you wanted to use at your disposal and you were willing to use that money, tell us what you envision your day to be like. What adjective do you use to describe your day? What has happened in events that you've attended recently that you don't want to happen at yours? You know, that way we can pick ideas of their personality, of what they are, and then we can bring in our own creative ideas, right? So it's your ability to solve problems and challenges in a creative manner. It's one thing for my bride to say that I need a pen. It's another thing for me to give her maybe a customized pen, or a pen that I'm like, oh, you need a pen for souvenir. How about customizing it? How about putting it on the table? How about putting it in a gift bag? You know, how about signing, having like an handwritten note to all your bridesmaids with this pen, and tell them that I actually wrote with this pen in my basket of love and then unity. Then like that. So you just have to be creative. And the pandemic is a typical example of how we're forced to be creative. There was a party, a Zoom party that I attended, and I think I mentioned in the last module that we were in our houses, but we still had fun. Foods were delivered to us. We played games virtually. We connected virtually, and everybody was happy, right? We dressed well. Oh wow, we did makeup. Some people did makeup. Some people tied gele. Like, you know, you're going for like a real actual party. And even during the pandemic, I remember our company hosting a number of O&Bear vibes. Like, so we had like some studio recordings with a band that they were live, like on different social media platforms. So the information was out there, you know, air radio, even though you're at home, you see I can have fun. I know they sang songs, like it was a real real party. And then you do short videos of yourself, you tag us, and you post it. You know, because the pandemic forced us to be creative, because people were tired of being at home doing nothing, and some people were already losing their minds, not being able to interact with other people, right? So most places where you find people are on their phones, and content for them to engage their minds was very important, right? So you have to be creative and innovative. You cannot say that this is the way we have been doing since 1945 and so shall it be forevermore. No. Not only are you going to do it well, you're going to do it in a different way so that it will be memorable and remarkable for you and your guests. right? Another very important point is keen eye for details. So at Mo Eventville, we like to pride ourselves in the fact that we pay detailed attention to every single event element to the degree that we can, right? And it's very important because it's the little drops of water that makes the mighty ocean. A little here, a little there, and then it becomes a big deal. So if you're neglecting the tiny elements, the big picture might not be fine. I mean, so imagine a jigsaw puzzle. You want to fix things together, and some parts are missing. It's not going to be perfect. But if you're just thinking about the big picture, you're thinking about the big picture, and you're ignoring the details, it's not going to turn out well. But when you pay attention to every element, like okay, hairstylist, barber, nails, they need to go to the spa, where are they going to sleep? You know, you're envisioning that this is what the day of the bride or the groom will look like, and you start asking yourself questions. Okay, where do I see my bride waking up? In a hotel. Where is the hotel? How close is it to our church or our mosque or wherever she's taking doing her vows, or the venue? Is there traffic? Is there going who's going to pick her up? You know, you're asking yourself all of these questions. You know that it's the small things that matter, and those things don't cause problems, because guess what? It's those little things that might cause problem at the end of the day. So you're like, oh, everything is sorted. That's everything is sorted. My dear bride, who is coming to pick you tomorrow? Everybody says, sure, there'll be somebody. But there are so many somebodies, and that means there's nobody. By the time you can prepare, oh, my brother is the one coming to pick me up from the hotel. They're sending a driver. This is the car they are using. Okay, the car they are using, has it been washed? Do we need to decorate it? Are we parking the car here? Where is the car key? Because those little things that can delay, right? So when you're fit to be, and when you want to know that you are fit to be an event planner, we need to know that you are paying attention to every event element. It ensures that it helps you to ensure that everything is properly organized and in place. Another skill that is required of you is excellent time management skills. As we have said and established, time is money, time is life, right? So what you use your time for, what you use your time to do as an event planner is very important. And your ability to multitask and do many things, not many things, many productive things within a given period shows that you're a G. So what do I mean? You have to be able to outline things in order of importance. We call it scale of preference in economics, right? In order of how important it is to do. So today, I feel like I have 5,000 things to do. I just cannot achieve all the 5,000 things all by myself. So what do? List them out. Then, okay, which ones are not priority, which ones are not urgent. So you list them out: urgent, important. If it's urgent, you know that you have to treat it right now, or else things will fall apart. If it's important, then you can, okay, it's important, but I don't need to treat it right now. Then you now do, okay, which one should I delegate? Do I have to do this by myself? If I can delegate, I can call a friend to help me do it. I can call an assistant. I can ask for advice. Maybe part of my to-do list is to check out venues. Instead of me checking out the venues by myself, I want to check venues in a particular location. Maybe I have a friend there, or maybe I have somebody in that city. Instead of me traveling all the way, I can call. Please, can you help me? Have you heard of this particular venue before? Can you help me with a contact? You know, I speak with the venue manager, ask the questions that I need to ask. Instead of traveling all the way, can you send me pictures? And then maybe later on, I'll schedule a meeting to go there and see for myself, or send somebody to help me do that. So if I'm sending somebody, if I'm delegating and sending someone to help me do that, that time, instead of me being there, I'm doing something else, right? And then, so yes, I usually use sticky notes. Do I have them here? Okay, I usually use sticky notes, right? So, and then once they are done, just stick them on the wall. Then I also have like alarms on my phone for like every 3 hours. I'm just talking about myself now, of what I want to do. So 9 a.m. there's an alarm that goes off, 12 noon, 3 p.m., 6 p.m., 9 p.m. so that I put my task in buckets of hours. So once the first alarm goes off by 9 a.m., I know that I should have done this, that, and that. And it's there like every day. Of course, what I do every day changes. But by the time I hear the alarm ring again, I'm like, oh, it's 12 noon. What have I achieved? So it's keeping me in check. Now for me to just be like, oh, the day is going like that, right? So it's very important that you're able to prioritize what you do. Make the best of your time and maximize it. Not just doing here, and not achieving anything. It's better that you achieve one single goal in a day than to do bits of 10 unaccomplished tasks over a period of 3 months or something. Right? It's very important. because you're also helping people manage their time. You're helping them make the best of things in a given time period during the planning process. Another thing, which is number 7, is passion and enthusiasm. You have to be passionate about event planning. And I think this is the part where I ask that, are you passionate? Do you really? I know that they say passion is not enough, but passion is also something. So are you passionate about this thing that we are calling event planning? Are you sure you want to do it? If you are not sure, I think at this point just pause the video. In fact, delete the video. Okay, you can't delete the video, but pause the video and just call my number or message or drop a message or something and just say, please ma'am, I am not doing it again. Because you have to be passionate. There will be days that it's the only passion that will drive you, literally. And not because there's no money. Yes, there will be money. The days of money will come. It will definitely come. But there will just be some events that will just stretch you and like, I don't understand. Why am I suffering this much? Just to plan an event, just to make somebody happy. So it's the passion that will drive you. And there's sometimes that it just looks like things are not just going as planned. Like during the pandemic, you're wondering how can we celebrate people? How can people celebrate their birthdays? And then now became a thing for people to start doing photo shoots, documenting those seasons of their life. Having like people come to decor in their houses, and then they have like a family photo shoot or a birthday photo shoot. Then that's when people started doing birthday shout outs, doing videos, and it was so obvious that we had to connect with ourselves, and it was just the love, the zeal that we had for ourselves that got that going, right? So for you to be able to be productive, being passionate is very important, because you will face a number of challenges while planning events. So passion is very key. You have to keep reminding yourself of why you're doing what you're doing. So Moni, why are you training? Why are you planning events? It's your why that will keep you going sometimes, right? Yeah. Now another thing is leadership skills. So I like to believe that leaders are born and not made, and I like to believe that everybody is a leader, because somehow, somewhere, some people are looking up to you in some certain aspects of your life that they would like to emulate, that they appreciate or they admire, right? And you being an event planner will put you like in the spotlight, because you'll be coordinating a lot of people, vendors, staff, people are reporting to you, getting ideas from you, and some of them might be older than you. And our culture, we are very sensitive about things like this. So an elderly person, the way you're relating with the person, you need wisdom, right? Even if you want to make the person do what's in your mind to do, there's a way to be diplomatic about it, like, oh ma, I understand what you're saying, but I think that we should do it in this particular way. So your ability to be able to lead people shows that you are born to be an event planner, an event manager. And as you grow in the field, your outstanding leadership skills will help you achieve your goal. So you begin to be people oriented and task oriented, not just either of the two. So task oriented means that, oh, we want to get this done. The goal is for us to plan this 50th birthday celebration. How it happens, I don't care. But people oriented, okay, how it happens, we need people to help us do this. We need the team. And now somebody on your team says that, oh, I maybe a woman now, I have cramps. You're like, you have cramps, so what should I do about it? No, you show compassion, you show empathy. Sorry that you have cramps. What usually do you take drugs? Do you want to rest? Do you want to resume tomorrow when you feel better? You do this. So it shows that you are people oriented, and then to the end that your results are achieved. So you cannot be at both extremes. You marry both of them together. That shows that you're an excellent leader. Another thing is superior organizational skills. We talked about time management skills. Now, as an event planner, you have to be organized, of course, because you're helping people organize what they're organizing, right? So events should always look seamlessly choreographed, like you're acting a movie. Like we've rehearsed it throughout the planning process. This is what we are doing, this is what we are not doing, and it looks like a movie. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen some videos and like, oh, this is so beautiful, and there are just moments that just come spontaneously and just like everything flows. So your choice of vendors will obviously help you with that, and it's something that you can actually learn, and you can actually master. So being organized in the little things, organizing your own personal life, your day-to-day activities, then put having priority for things that you do with respect to the events that you are planning. Then last but not the least is tech savvy. So technology is a great tool that we use in event planning, right? And it's something that is here to stay. I mean, because of technology, that's why you can watch this video. I'm here in Ibadan, Nigeria, and you're watching from wherever you are in the world, and you can see this because of technology. So it's something you have to embrace. You can't be doing things as you've been doing in the year, excuse me, 1942. Things cannot remain the same, right? There should be a twist to the way you get things done. So, for example, you say that an event is strictly by IP. Instead of writing out with biro and paper, why, if the access cards have like a barcode and you scan the barcode and guests coming, isn't that brilliant? Or people, you have like a conference and you arrange, people pre-register and you have the names written in alphabetical order. So once they come, you check, oh, your name is Scott, Scott P. Scott is S. You search for S instead of searching one by one, and maybe keeping people on the queue. Or maybe it's a ticketed event. If you paid for a ticket, have a wristband, and you can go in, where you're sitting at, right? So it helps you to be more effective and efficient in producing your event and even make things happen faster, right? And then using some softwares for what you do. So let's say that you want to draft a floor plan. There are some softwares that you can use for that. It makes your life easier and smoother. That's what technology does for you, right? And so you want to embrace that. You also want to be social media savvy, because social media savvy is going to be like one of your major marketing tools. You want to know what is happening out there, like in terms of the world at large, and social media has made it easy that the world is now at your fingertips literally. So if you possess any of these qualities, that's great. And you feel like there are some that you need to work on, please get started on working on them. Just be conscious of the fact that you need to sort out these things as you proceed. And yes, you will be an excellent planner as time goes by. So now we move on to building your packages.